Psychological safety at work, the secret to peak team output. Welcome to Psychological Safety at Work, the secret to peak team output. This course is your guide to understanding and cultivating a workplace culture where every team member feels safe to contribute, take risks, and be themselves. Psychological safety is not just a buzzword, it's a strategic imperative in today's innovation-driven environment. Teams that embrace psychological safety achieve higher collaboration, faster problem-solving, and more breakthrough ideas. When individuals feel secure enough to speak their minds, admit mistakes, or ask for help, the entire team benefits. That sense of safety fosters open communication, which in turn drives creativity and high performance. Whether you're a team lead, a new engineer, or a contributor, building psychological safety is a shared responsibility. Throughout this course, you'll learn why psychological safety matters, what it looks like in action, and how to implement it, both individually and collectively, to unlock peak output and long-term success. Introduction: Why psychological safety matters. In today's fast-paced and innovation-focused workplace, psychological safety provides a powerful competitive edge. It's not just about creating a nice work environment, it directly drives business success. When team members feel safe to take interpersonal risks, they're more willing to contribute innovative ideas, challenge assumptions, and speak up when problems arise. This openness leads to stronger communication, which is the foundation for effective teamwork. Creativity thrives in an environment where individuals feel secure enough to be vulnerable, ask questions, or even admit when they've made a mistake. That sense of trust and openness also improves performance. Teams become more adaptable, more resilient, and ultimately more productive. Psychological safety cultivates the conditions necessary for collaboration and high-quality problem-solving. Companies that embrace this culture experience a dramatic improvement in team dynamics, speed of learning, and engagement, leading to sustainable success in a world that demands constant evolution. What is psychological safety? Psychological safety is defined as a shared belief that the team is safe for interpersonal risk-taking. This concept was introduced by Dr. Amy Edmondson from Harvard Business School. It means people feel comfortable being themselves at work, speaking up with ideas, asking tough questions, voicing concerns, or even admitting mistakes, without fear of negative consequences. The foundation of psychological safety is built on speaking up, trust, safety, and innovation. When people believe they won't be judged or punished for taking risks or sharing thoughts, they're more likely to contribute meaningfully. Importantly, psychological safety does not mean avoiding conflict. It actually enables healthy debate. The key is that conflict is grounded in mutual trust and respect. That kind of environment supports diverse thinking and creates space for new solutions to emerge. Psychological safety isn't about eliminating mistakes. It's about making it safe to learn from them and grow together. Psychological safety means: Psychological safety doesn't mean the absence of conflict. It means having the trust and respect necessary to navigate disagreements constructively. In safe teams, disagreements still happen, but they are approached with curiosity, not hostility. Mutual trust ensures that everyone feels valued and respected, even when opinions differ. This creates a climate where healthy debate thrives. Ideas can be challenged without triggering personal attacks or defensiveness. Such an atmosphere supports open dialogue, mutual trust, innovation, and respect. Mistakes are no longer feared, but are reframed as learning opportunities. That shift fosters resilience and continuous improvement. Teams with psychological safety are better equipped to bounce back from setbacks because they see mistakes not as failures, but as fuel for learning. This mindset also allows individuals to contribute more freely, think more creatively, and engage more deeply with their work. Psychological safety isn't a bonus, it's a baseline for real team effectiveness. Why psychological safety drives peak team output. High-performing teams aren't perfect, they just manage challenges more effectively. What sets them apart is their ability to surface issues early, course correct quickly, and continuously learn together. That's the power of psychological safety. When team members feel safe to admit they don't know something, they're more likely to seek help and grow. When someone challenges a flawed assumption, the team avoids unnecessary risk. Raising a red flag before a mistake becomes a crisis can save valuable time and resources. And when someone shares a wild, creative idea, innovation accelerates. This environment leads to faster problem solving, greater innovation and creativity, stronger collaboration and engagement, and reduced turnover and burnout. Psychological safety is the engine behind these outcomes. People feel energized when they can speak freely without fear. Teams perform better because they're constantly learning and adapting. It's how organizations unlock their full potential, by making it safe for people to be bold. Evidence: Google's Project Aristotle. In 2015, Google conducted a landmark study known as Project Aristotle to uncover what makes teams successful. The most striking finding? Psychological safety was the #1 predictor of team performance, more important than structure, skills, or even individual talent. The study revealed that who is on the team matters less than how the team works together. Team dynamics proved far more critical. Emotional intelligence, or the ability to read and respond to others' emotions, also played a major role in team success. Teams with greater emotional awareness achieved better results. But above all, psychological safety had the strongest impact. It outweighed technical expertise or formal processes. When people feel safe, they collaborate better, solve problems faster, and produce more creative solutions. This research cemented psychological safety as a measurable, high-impact factor. It isn't just theory. It's backed by real-world data from one of the most data-driven companies on the planet. Common misconceptions. Psychological safety is often misunderstood. It's not about being nice all the time or avoiding hard conversations. In fact, avoiding tough topics can harm trust. True psychological safety supports honest communication, even when it's uncomfortable. It also doesn't mean eliminating accountability. People are still responsible for their work and outcomes. In a safe team, performance standards remain high. Deadlines and structure don't go away. They're respected even more when people feel trusted and supported. Another misconception is that psychological safety means removing leadership hierarchy. In reality, leadership roles still matter, but effective leaders invite input and create space for others to speak up. At its core, psychological safety means surfacing issues, learning from mistakes, and engaging in healthy debate. Mistakes are treated as data for improvement, not as evidence to shame or blame. It's a culture where people feel empowered to share their insights and challenge the status quo. The 4 dimensions of psychological safety. Psychological safety can be broken down into 4 core dimensions that reflect the full spectrum of human needs in a team environment. These are inclusion safety, learner safety, contributor safety, and challenger safety. Inclusion safety addresses our need to feel accepted and valued for who we are. Learner safety relates to our ability to grow and explore without fear of embarrassment or punishment. Contributor safety is about being able to add value and know that our input makes a difference. Challenger safety involves the freedom to question, challenge, and disagree, even with leadership, without fear of retaliation. Each of these dimensions builds upon the other. Together, they create a complete foundation for psychological safety. By understanding and supporting all 4, teams can unlock not just performance, but belonging, growth, engagement, and innovation. Let's explore each dimension in detail to understand how they drive team success. Inclusion safety. Inclusion safety answers the question, do I feel accepted and respected for who I am? It satisfies a fundamental human need, the need to belong. When you feel included, you believe your presence matters, your voice is welcomed, and your unique perspective is valued. You feel seen, not just as a worker, but as a whole person. That's the power of inclusion safety. It lays the emotional foundation for every other aspect of psychological safety. When inclusion is absent, people tend to withdraw, mask their identities, or disengage entirely. But when inclusion is present, individuals are more likely to speak up, contribute new ideas, and build stronger team bonds. They're also more likely to support others in return. Inclusion safety is not just about being present on the team. It's about feeling like you truly belong. Without it, other forms of psychological safety can't take root. With it, team potential begins to flourish. Learner safety. Learner safety addresses the question, can I ask questions, experiment, and learn without fear of being judged? In a psychologically safe environment, curiosity is not only tolerated, it's celebrated. People are encouraged to say things like, I don't know, or I need help, without worrying about looking weak or incapable. That openness is what drives growth. When mistakes are framed as opportunities rather than failures, team members feel empowered to explore, test ideas, and iterate quickly. Learner safety fuels continuous improvement because it removes the stigma of not knowing. Teams with high learner safety adapt faster to change and acquire new skills more effectively. This dimension is essential in any setting where knowledge is evolving, especially in science and engineering fields where innovation depends on exploration. When teams are safe to learn, they become agile, resourceful, and better equipped to solve complex problems together. Contributor safety. Contributor safety is about feeling safe to meaningfully contribute to the team's goals. It answers the question, can I add value here, and will it be appreciated? When people believe their ideas and efforts matter, they're more likely to step up, take initiative, and offer unique insights. They're not just going through the motions, they're actively engaged. Contributor safety boosts innovation because more voices are heard, and it increases ownership because individuals feel accountable for their part in the team's success. It also promotes better use of the team's full range of skills and perspectives. Without contributor safety, people may hold back, even if they have great ideas, out of fear they'll be ignored or rejected. But when contributor safety is present, diverse input becomes a strength. Everyone feels motivated to do their best work and take pride in their contributions. This directly leads to stronger team performance and cohesion. Challenger safety. Challenger safety empowers people to ask tough questions and challenge the status quo, even when it's uncomfortable or involves disagreeing with leaders. It answers the question, can I speak up if something feels wrong or could be improved? When this kind of safety exists, red flags are raised early, and flawed assumptions are more likely to be corrected. Challenger safety is essential for innovation. Teams that encourage dissent and questioning are 25% more innovative and better able to adapt to change. When people are afraid to speak out, risks go unaddressed, and bad decisions are left unchallenged. But in a safe environment, pushing back is seen as a strength, not a threat. Teams that value constructive dissent can identify better solutions, avoid costly mistakes, and move forward with greater confidence. Challenger safety enables a culture of accountability, resilience, and long-term progress. High versus low psychological safety, signs and behaviors. The behaviors seen in teams with high psychological safety are vastly different from those with low safety. In high safety environments, team members speak up freely and ideas flow naturally. Mistakes are acknowledged openly and seen as learning opportunities. Questions and curiosity are encouraged, and constructive conflict leads to stronger solutions. Feedback is shared regularly, both peer-to-peer and manager-to-employee. Humor and human connection are visible, and people feel comfortable being their authentic selves. In contrast, low-safety teams are marked by silence in meetings, lack of participation, and fear of admitting errors. Mistakes are hidden or blamed on others. Groupthink dominates, and people avoid disagreement or feedback. Communication becomes tense and guarded. Only managers give input, and team members hesitate to speak candidly. Leaders should use these behavioral indicators as a diagnostic tool to assess team culture and take action where needed to improve safety and unlock team potential. The role of leadership. Leadership plays a critical role in shaping psychological safety. Leaders set the tone by how they behave and respond in everyday interactions. Admitting mistakes and modeling vulnerability creates space for others to do the same. When leaders listen without interrupting, show patience, and offer their full attention, they signal that every voice matters. Thanking people for raising concerns reinforces that speaking up is valued, not punished. Leaders who focus on solutions, not blame, cultivate a culture of continuous improvement. Demonstrating empathy and curiosity builds trust and openness across the team. In short, great leaders act as role models, active listeners, debate facilitators, and sources of emotional safety. When leaders show humility, others feel safe to speak honestly. Psychological safety doesn't start with a policy. It starts with the everyday habits of those in charge. Leaders must go first in modeling the behaviors they want their teams to embrace. Practical strategies to build psychological safety. Creating a psychologically safe environment requires intentional actions from everyone, not just leaders. Start by setting the tone with clear ground rules that prioritize respect, such as assume good intent and all voices are heard. Make it safe to fail by encouraging experimentation and celebrating small risks. Frame failures as part of the learning process, not as something to be punished. Practice active listening by giving people your full attention, reflecting what they say, and resisting the urge to judge or jump in too soon. Use structured rounds in meetings to ensure everyone has a chance to speak. Build regular feedback loops, so input is a routine part of the team, not a rare event, and reward speaking up, especially when it involves raising concerns or offering bold ideas. Small, consistent actions over time create lasting cultural shifts. Psychological safety is built through daily habits, not occasional declarations. Boosting psychological safety in remote and hybrid teams. Remote and hybrid teams face unique challenges that can erode psychological safety if not addressed deliberately. Without body language cues, communication gaps widen. Time zone differences and digital fatigue can further fragment connection. That's why it takes twice the intention to build half the connection in virtual settings. Start with regular check-ins, simple rituals like asking, "What's one word that describes your mood today?" Can foster emotional presence. Use video-on norms to bring facial expressions and human moments into digital spaces. Anonymous feedback tools, like digital suggestion boxes or polls, help surface concerns that might go unspoken in meetings. Host virtual retrospectives to reflect on team dynamics and processes. And don't neglect informal connections. Virtual coffee chats or casual social time help build trust and camaraderie. When teams communicate clearly and maintain rituals that reinforce inclusion, they create remote cultures that feel just as psychologically safe as in-person environments. How to measure psychological safety. Measuring psychological safety is essential to improvement. Use anonymous surveys or pulse checks to gauge team sentiment regularly. Sample questions might include, "I feel comfortable bringing up tough issues," "It's safe to take a risk here," or "Mistakes are not held against people." These kinds of questions assess whether people feel safe to speak, make errors, and be themselves. Over time, tracking survey scores can reveal trends, both positive and negative, in team culture. Conducting assessments quarterly or biannually provides enough cadence to make meaningful changes. Always combine quantitative scores with open-ended feedback for deeper insights. Numbers tell you what's happening, but comments reveal why. Most importantly, don't let survey results sit unused. Share the findings openly, then co-create action plans as a team. When feedback leads to real change, trust deepens. Measurement, when done with transparency and follow-through, becomes a tool for progress, not just data collection. The business case, a multiplier for performance. Psychological safety isn't just a feel-good concept. It's a measurable performance driver. High levels of psychological safety lead to greater innovation. Teams generate more creative ideas and launch successful products more often. Fewer errors occur because people catch issues early or admit mistakes quickly. Retention improves as employee engagement rises and turnover drops. Decisions happen faster because there's less fear of speaking up and more clarity around shared goals. Inclusive cultures flourish when psychological safety is present, allowing diverse perspectives to surface and thrive. And organizations with psychologically safe teams are more resilient and adaptive, positioned for long-term success in fast-changing markets. Whether your company builds software, semiconductors, or systems, the same principle holds. When people feel safe, they perform at their best. Psychological safety isn't a luxury. It's the infrastructure for sustainable business results and a lasting competitive edge. Conclusion: make psychological safety the standard. Psychological safety is the invisible infrastructure of effective teams. It's what allows learning, creativity, and resilience to take root and thrive, especially in high-stakes, fast-moving industries. To make it the norm, model vulnerability in your daily interactions. Show openness by admitting mistakes and sharing your learning process. Nurture open dialogue and make feedback a regular, welcomed exchange, not a once-a-year event. Celebrate learning, not just winning. Acknowledge mistakes as steps toward growth. And above all, practice active, empathetic listening. Every conversation, every check-in, every small gesture contributes to the safety and strength of your team. You don't need permission to begin. Whether you're a new engineer, technician, or manager, you can help build a culture of trust, one conversation at a time. Start today and commit to making psychological safety not just an idea, but a daily habit that drives high performance.